There was a moment inside the royal walls, one so quiet, so unexpected, that almost nobody noticed it at first. Not when it happened. Not when the cameras were rolling. And definitely not when one senior royal suddenly stopped speaking altogether. Because behind the polished smiles, behind the balcony waves and ceremonial appearances, something had shifted. And according to insiders, it all traces back to one private conversation, and one recording that Princess Anne reportedly wanted kept buried. A recording that, if true, could explain years of tension between Meghan Markle and the rest of the royal family. But what exactly was on it? And why is it suddenly becoming impossible to ignore? To understand this, you have to go back, not to the Oprah interview, not to the Netflix series, but to the moment Meghan and Harry began realizing the royal system had limits they couldn't break. From the outside it looked glamorous. Titles, global attention, endless headlines. But inside the monarchy, rank is everything. And no matter how popular Harry and Meghan became, there was one truth they couldn't escape. The future of the crown belonged to William and Kate. Not Harry. Not Meghan. That reality, according to royal observers, became harder and harder to accept. Especially as William and Kate's public image continued to grow stronger. Every appearance brought bigger crowds. Every photo fueled more admiration. And every step closer to the throne widened the invisible gap between the two couples. At first, the tension was subtle. Small things. Separate offices. Different staff. Conflicting schedules. But palace insiders began noticing something else. Competition. Not open, not obvious. But there. Who got more attention? Whose charity work led the headlines? Whose speeches dominated the front pages? It wasn't supposed to matter. But somehow it did. Then came the first major crack. Reports emerged of disagreements over staff treatment. Rumors of emotional clashes. Tense exchanges behind closed doors. The palace stayed silent. But silence in royal circles often says more than words. And then something unusual happened. Princess Anne, known for staying out of drama, known for loyalty to the institution above everything, started taking a closer interest. That alone raised eyebrows. Anne isn't reactive. She watches. She listens. And when she speaks, people pay attention. For years, Anne had been seen as the monarchy's quiet enforcer. No scandals. No distractions. Just duty. So when whispers started circulating that Anne had privately confronted concerns about internal behavior, the palace atmosphere changed. Fast. But here where it gets strange. Because according to multiple royal commentators, there was allegedly an internal audio file. A private conversation involving staff frustrations and growing concerns about division inside the household. Not criminal. Not explosive in the way tabloids might suggest. But deeply revealing. And this is where the story turns. Because the issue wasn't what was said. It was who heard it. Sources claim Princess Anne was among the few senior royals made aware of the recording. And what she reportedly heard painted a picture far more complicated than the public knew. Staff morale was collapsing. Trust was thinning. And William, according to insiders, was becoming increasingly protective of Kate. Not because of one event, but because of a pattern. A pattern of tension. Distance. Competition. Then came the exit. Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties in 2020 shocked the world. To many it looked sudden. But inside the palace, some say it felt inevitable. Like the final chapter of something that had been unraveling for years. And yet, even after leaving, the conflict didn't end. Interviews, documentaries, books, each one pulled back another layer. But around the midpoint of all this, something changed. Princess Anne stopped being neutral. Not publicly, but symbolically. Body language shifted. Appearances with William and Kate became more frequent. Support became more visible. Royal experts noticed it. And so did the public. That was the second hook. Because Anne's alignment mattered. She represents continuity. Stability. The old guard. If Anne had chosen a side, even quietly, it spoke volumes. And then came Harry's memoir. Spare. A book that reopened wounds many believed were healing. Claims about arguments. Physical confrontations. Isolation. Pain. But buried beneath all of that was something bigger. A confession almost hidden in plain sight. Harry had always felt like the spare. The backup. The second. And Meghan entered that system already knowing there was no path to the top. That may have changed everything. Because for all the love story headlines, beneath it sat an uncomfortable truth. The monarchy has a fixed centre. William and Kate are it. No amount of popularity changes succession. No interview changes bloodline. No public sympathy changes hierarchy. And perhaps that's what made the fractures irreversible. Not betrayal. Not cruelty. Structure. A system older than all of them. Today the royal family moves forward, but the scars remain. William is closer than ever to the throne. Kate's influence continues to rise. Anne remains one of the monarchy's most trusted figures. And Harry and Meghan, still outside the institution they once tried to reshape. But that alleged recording, whether fully revealed or forever locked away, continues to fuel one haunting question. Was the royal split really about freedom? Or was it about finally accepting a place in the story they could never rewrite?